Brian Baldinger, former NFL offensive lineman, current NFL Network analyst from NFL Network's Total Access. His thoughts on the Browns draft class.
Michael Hall Jr., he was their first pick. Now remember, they didn't have a first-round pick because of Deshaun Watson. So their first pick in the second round, Michael Hall Jr. from Ohio State. That's one. I mean, I thought he was one of the more underrated players in this league. I think he's going to fit in nicely next to Dalvin Tomlinson inside. And if he gives the kind of push we saw in college up front, along with Dalvin Tomlinson, and you get, the MVP and Myles Garrett on one side and Za'Darius on the other, I mean, this Cleveland defense is still going to be very good. They got a little help on the offensive line with Zach Sinner and some guys. I think it's going to be a big challenge to replace Bill Callahan, who went to co-coach with his son in Tennessee.
With that, let's welcome in Quincy Carrier, Untitled, Unfiltered Browns coverage. Quincy, just your overall thoughts on the Browns draft class as a whole.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm not running away thinking that we got the best draft of all time, but I think it's going to end up being a pretty solid draft class. You get the upside with a guy like Michael Hall at 20 years old. And a thing to think about when you draft a prospect that's this young and that talented like Michael Hall is that it's very realistic. He could have stayed at Ohio State, put a whole season together, and then became a top 15 to top 10 draft pick based on his tools alone. So you might be getting in early on a prospect there because he just did not stay long enough into college. So I really like that pick with Michael Hall there, considering his age. And then Zach Zinter is a good prospect at guard. There are some questions about how his game will translate to the NFL, but it's not like you're asking him to play right away, so you're in a good situation there. And this is the great spot to develop a guard, to develop a tackle. The Browns have built a great infrastructure on that offensive line with veteran players, and then you get somebody like Jamari Thrash, who I think he has a good potential to be like a Willie Snead type guy, right? A really smart receiver, a guy who could be a third down target, a guy who could be a first down machine, kind of like what we hoped Rashad Higgins would grow into as a Cleveland Browns and what he showed a flash of becoming. Everybody else after that, right? Like, you just hope you get some special teams guys or guys who can rotate on the roster or maybe even push guys for roster spots down the line. But just those three names alone, I'm like, okay, I think you got enough out this draft class to justify drafting in it.